Hey there guys, Foxy Fern here, and welcome to my new series of Banished. For those of you who are unfamiliar with the game, it is, I think, one of the most underrated games I have ever played. It was developed by one guy under the company name of Shining Rock Software. And if you're into simulation, building, somewhat roguelike type game, because you can fail and essentially just have to start over, then this game is definitely for you. So let's go ahead and jump in here. I will be calling my place Fernlake. And terrain type, valleys, we'll do that to start with because that is a little simpler. Fair climate. The harsh climate is pretty ridiculous. I've never actually been successful with starting on that bad of a climate on hard conditions, which is what I want to do. Disasters on, yes, because that makes it way more interesting. No crazy dinosaurs like in SimCity, but basically what the different settings here do for you is easy will give you lots of supplies first and some homes built. Medium will give you a few less homes and supplies, and hard will just give you people and a very small amount of supplies. And I spelled Fernlake wrong. How dare I? I don't want Fernlake. Alright, let's go ahead and jump right in. I do apologize, as it seems I am having technical difficulties with the mouse actually looking correct, so I'm getting this weird thing. If it really bothers you guys, let me know and I'll stop making videos until I figure that out. Alright, first of all, I like to set up a few things in my interface. We will do the general town statistics, and I usually put that over in this corner. And event logs, so we can see if we're low on things or if people are dying, whatnot. The map. The map I just like to use to make sure we have a river connection to the outside of our world, which is all the way over here. If we connect to these little rivers here with a trading post, we won't be able to actually bring in traders. So by that time we're going to want to mosey on over to this portion of the map, but that's okay. We don't want to build a trading post right away yet anyway. So we'll go ahead and close that map out, and we'll open up the jobs window. So we start out with everybody in Banished as a laborer, and laborers will do all of your tasks of clearing the forest, picking up materials, and hauling materials to places that you want to have built. So that's what everybody is starting out as, and we'll go ahead and leave them as laborers until we decide to make some placements here. And the first thing we want to do is establish an area where we're going to have a gatherer's hut and a hunting cabin so that we can have a source of food for people. And you want to kind of put it in the center of as foresty of an area as possible. And I do like to keep it on pause at the beginning because your minutes are pretty critical at this point of the game. We're gonna stick him over there. And then we're also going to have Forester Lodge so that we can chop down some trees as well. Alright, so our people are gonna automatically start clearing these areas, and we'll want to assign a few people as builders, and we'll go ahead and speed this up a bit. Now, if you have, say, all of these people assigned as builders, if there's nothing left to build, then they're essentially laborers. So I always like to have at least a couple people as builders. Oh, let's see. First of all, we need to make a stockpile here. Let's pause this again, because these people need a place to carry all of this wood and stone. We'll make a little one over here, and then I'm also going to make a bigger one in this area where we're going to build some homes up later. Now they'll start hauling it to that stockpile so that they can build things here. So we start out the game currently with 8 adults and 4 children. That's a pretty good ratio because we don't want to have too many children or else there won't be people to be our laborers. The number of adults and children that you start out with every game are random, but they'll all be part of families. So when we get ready to build houses, right now I think we have 6 families? 4 or 6 families. So we'll only need 4 houses to house everyone. Let's go ahead and increase our number of builders here. What is the issue? Oh. I need to pay more attention rather than talk so much until we have enough supplies here. So we'll go ahead and clear out some of the stone and also the iron. So you can see here by clicking on these projects how many logs they need, how much stone, and they will build in order that you placed them until you run out of supplies, and then they'll start bringing supplies to the next one. You can change the priority of the buildings that you want to have built either by clicking on the pause button here, or there's also a button down here that you can select and drag over to change the priority of a building. Alright, Gatherer's Hut. We need to assign some gatherers. Oh, and we don't have enough laborers right now, so go ahead and start with 3 gatherers. How are we doing on wood? We need some more wood. So when I'm harvesting trees in the very beginning, I like to kind of harvest them in little rows like this because the trees will naturally grow back on their own as long as they're close enough to other trees. But if you were to just, say, wipe out this whole area like that, it's going to take a long time for those trees to fill in because they're only going to produce saplings next to other trees. Unless you have people assigned to the Forester Lodge where you can tell them to plant trees. But as far as in the wild goes, I like to harvest things in strips like that. I'm gonna go ahead and fast forward a little bit until these people are finished with these things and I have something to report back. Welcome back, everyone. So far we have a Forester Lodge built, our hunting cabin is finished, and we have people assigned to those right now. For the time being, I want to manually control the amount of trees that get cut down, so I just have one person assigned here to plant things. And the reasoning for this is because the Gatherer's Hut and the hunting cabin are going to be more productive on a denser forest, and if we were to clear out too many trees, then we wouldn't be getting as much food and leather. So that's the way I like to start out. And we have a couple houses built here, and again, I don't want to put too many houses in the area that these things collect from, because obviously there are no trees here for the time being. But I do want a couple of houses that are close to these production buildings, because that way the people who work here will choose to live in a home that is closest to their job. So if I go in here with my little query tool, oops, not that one, and I click on this house, and I can see that they're going to these workplaces here, and they will change jobs instead of houses. And you can see we have our builder and our gatherer here. Little 14-year-old Isabeth with Lamberti. Yeah, they don't have too much of a concern about ages in this game. I think they're as young as, say, I don't know, 12 years old, maybe even younger than that before they start popping out babies. But, you know, we have a population of 12 people. You can only be so concerned about age. Alright, so we'll build a couple more houses here. And looks like we're good on wood and stone for the time being. And the first production house I like to build is the woodcutter so that they can have firewood to keep themselves warm in the winter. Also, as you can see, the population up here, 2 of the children have become adults now, so they are now part of the workforce, and we only have 2 babies left. And I will not get any more babies until everybody has a home to live in, because they will not produce if they're homeless. They will not reproduce if they're homeless or if the house is at full capacity. It's a nice way to be able to regulate your population, because if you don't want to grow, you can just not build houses. But if you do want to grow, then you build a whole bunch of houses, make sure that people have room to reproduce. We don't want our little town to go extinct. So now everybody has a home, which is good because it's winter time and we don't want them to freeze their little arses off. I am going to pause and come back at multiple times during this video because there are a lot of moments where just kind of waiting around on people to finish building or gathering, and I don't want to bore you guys to death, so... Oh no, and we have somebody who's starving. Oh! No! Heresy, the builder, has died of starvation. That's no good. We need to perhaps assign some more people to get us some food. Goodness. Well, I don't know why that person was such an idiot and starved. Look at all this food that we have in our storage cart. Ah, well, there's our first death, I guess. Natural selection. People who can't feed themselves must die. Let's build a fisherman's hut, and there is not... I'm not very sure this is going to be the most productive place to put a fisherman's hut, but right now it's the closest to our homes. This is kind of far away from the storage. Oh, we need to assign a woodcutter. Alright. Don't want to get rid of our builder, so we're going to have to sacrifice a gatherer there. And let's also get some more... Looks like we need some more wood. Storage for produced goods is near capacity, so that's what goes in our storage cart, which is basically food and coats and everything. We will need to build a storage barn now. Let's kind of put it over here. Kind of close enough to everything there. Yes, yes, thank you for all of your warnings. You know what? We're gonna turn off the notifications for low things and capacity. Grab some more wood here. And over here. Let's also clear out this stone. Now, stone and iron, as you can probably guess, do not replenish on the map because stone can't have baby stones. So the only ways to get stone and iron are either by building a mine on the mountain or a quarry anywhere that has a big enough flat space, and your citizens can mine those things, and they do have a limit, so it is not just forever available. You have to build more quarries or more mines if they run out, which takes a really long time. I'm not sure I've ever had more than just a couple quarries ever run out. But you can also trade for the wood and the stone, and what I like to do is make a whole bunch of firewood, since trees will replenish limitlessly, and then I will trade out the firewood for the other goods that I can't continue to get. Alright, and I think that's a pretty good stopping point for now. We have our town established, and we have the beginnings of Fernlake, and I can't wait until we get to grow our city. Thanks a lot for joining me, and I will see you in the next episode.